Yeah, college is a test lab if you really break it down. You have your major, you take your classes, and then what's great about our major is, a lot of the work that you have is outside the classroom. If you want to be a sports broadcaster, there's no intro to sports broadcasting class that Ithaca College has to offer. It's on you to, apply the skills you learn in class and apply the skills you learn from your peers and actually do it on the air. So the biggest thing for us was to find a platform which became the Asman and Budick show to let us do a talk show, get better on air, and the fact that we've been able to actually gain an audience and people enjoy the show, it's just a bonus on top of what the main goal was coming in.
The Asman and Budick podcast starts right now.
We didn't really become really good friends till 8th grade. We had every class together, believe it or not. Pretty much every class of 8th grade, the same schedule. So I really got a chance to know Dan in 8th grade, and I found out obviously we're both huge sports fans and both big listeners to Sports Talk Radio. So that's kind of really where we founded the friendship on, our love of sports, and we got along really well with our friend group. And since then we've been great friends.
Because we were exposed to it in high school, we were able the chance to get a feel for it early on and realize that this was something we wanted to pursue.
And then when the opportunity came around to apply to Ithaca College and be accepted into the Park School of Communications, they have a major called television radio. So to me, I'm thinking, there's nothing better than that opportunity right there. That's kind of really where I put all my focus into.
It's actually funny because I think in high school we kind of talked about it a little bit. It was kind of something because we knew we wanted to pursue the same things that we wanted to do. But, when I was a senior, I decided I wanted to go to Temple University in Philadelphia. And that's where I went my first semester. I went to Temple University in Philadelphia for my first semester, and I didn't really like it. I thought I wanted to go to a big kind of rah-rah communication school, but you know what? I wanted to go to a small school. I think I realized after that semester, and Ithaca was a school I looked at. I knew it was a passionate school about broadcasting, so I decided to come over.
To be honest, so when Dan didn't come to Temple right away, in the back of my mind I was thinking, well, I got to find someone I can do a talk show with, or I got to find someone that I can continue to do some sort of radio show with, even if it wasn't kind of the similar show about New York sports as it normally was when we were growing up on Long Island doing the show in high school. So I kind of was looking for someone, but then when Dan came here, it just made too much sense to not try and continue the show what we had in high school, and that's really where the idea to start the podcast came from in the first place. Advantage of all the opportunities, whether it's play-by-play or doing a sports update or anchoring something for TV.
Going into the end zone for J.R. Zazara for the touchdown.
2 touchdowns here in the second half of play.
And he sacked, back-to-back sacks from Pat Minot.
Takes the snap, gets hit as he throws a deep ball down the far sideline, looking for Nick Mallow, and it's intercepted by Chance Harris in the end zone, and he's going to try and return it. Harris across the 10-yard line, still on his feet, gets tripped up by Josh Oliver and goes down. Schaefer taking the snap, dropping back, throws over the middle. That one is caught, complete to Kyle Hastings. Hastings breaks the tackle. He's at the 10, 5, he's into the end zone. Kyle Hastings broke a couple tackles with a great stiff arm, was able to find the corner of the end zone, and the Bombers get on the board once again. They now trail 24-13 with 10-13 to go in the fourth quarter. The snap, looking over the field, and he throws it right over the middle, and Kenny Bradley with the interception.
It's intercepted by Jimmy Sullivan, taking the snap, now taking it, fumbled the football as pressure was coming from his right side. Kenny Bradley picked it up. He recovers the football and takes it out to the 20-yard line.
It's a high snap, the ball hits the end zone, Pine has to dive on it, and it's going to be a safety for the Ithaca College Bombers.
Or just doing anything involving radio or TV, behind the scenes even. I just wanted to take it all in and get the most experience possible.
Those kind of reps and putting the show in place, and really it was when we went to ICTV recruitment night the first time, and they talked about adding podcasts, and it was, what would they call it, a special project. And it was podcasts, and we thought immediately that this was an opportunity for us to not only do the show, but we could record the show. We'll have shows to play. We'll submit it to ICTV. They'll post it on iTunes. So it really gave us a platform to start the show. And then a couple of years later, well, really a year later, when we brought the show to VIC Radio and we were able to do it live, it made too much sense to incorporate the two, and that's what we did.
I think Dan and I are pretty open as far as what we think we could do to improve the show. maybe it's something simple like, hey, we'll communicate with our mics being turned off and use hand gestures to kind of figure out who's going to wrap up the segment with a guest, for example, or who's going to be the one to reintroduce the segment. We're always kind of learning on the fly. I think we try to get better just from seeing each other work so hard into the show or into a play-by-play Ithaca broadcast. The biggest thing for us was anything we could do to get better, we're going to try and do in our 4 years here. So we've been able to help really use each other to get better as broadcasters. We did games together in high school for the Syosset Braves on WKWZ. The first Ithaca College game we called, I think, was a lacrosse game freshman year. And then that following fall, when we auditioned for TV, we were fortunate enough to get the booth positions. And starting fall of 2015, Bombers' first home game, we were up in the booth as sophomores, and Mia O'Brien was our sideline reporter, and our producers at the time were Ed Bone, Mike Powers, and Tyler Chadwick, and they were nice enough to pick us for that opportunity, and then we started doing the TV broadcast that season.
At first, you're pretty nervous before you go on air, but I think at this point I've done it a lot of times where it's kind of not really nervous, it's just another day in the office, and I think that's kind of how you have to go about it. Every game's different, different players, playing the Bombers, different offenses against different defenses depending on what's going on in the game. So you got to be on your toes. You got to be ready for anything. But once you do it a couple of times and once you really get your feet into it, you kind of get a nice pace going. You get kind of into a routine every week, and that's one thing we kind of talked about is when you get into a routine with anything, everything becomes easier.
We're involved from every show, from Newswatch Sports to even Bombers Live. We both have had the opportunity to be a part of it.
We will be at Radio Row Tuesday through Friday prior to the Super Bowl, week leading into the Super Bowl.
And in Houston this year, planning about 3 days of shows down there. Some of them will be live, hopefully on both WICB, our sister station, which is on the FM dial here in Ithaca, and of course VIC Radio as well, the station you're listening to right now.
When the opportunity came about to actually apply for the credential through Radio Row, we have a great relationship with the Park School, and we have a great relationship with both Dean Roberts and Dean Gajewski. So when the opportunity came about for us to actually apply, we had told them that there was a chance that, hey, maybe we could get a credential to actually go to Radio Row and do the show. So when that happened, they said, just let us know what happens. We're there for you. We'll be able to make whatever you need happen if that's the case. We applied for the credential with Dean Roberts because we needed to put a faculty supervisor down under Ithaca College Radio, so we put him down. And within 3 hours after sending in our application, someone from the NFL personally emailed us and said, hey, for the sake of your planning purposes, we're going to accept you guys. You're all set. You're going to Radio Row. So then Dean Roberts called me right after that email was sent from the NFL. So excited, so happy. And then the planning stages really began after that to making it all actually come together.
Well, it was such a cool experience just to be in Houston and be a part of kind of the Super Bowl festivities. I know Jake and I kind of always wanted to be able to do a radio show from the Super Bowl Radio Row. So to be able to do that, I think was such a great experience. We met so many great people there too. We were able to network a little bit, give our contact information out to a lot of people. So it was just such a great experience to kind of be around the best of the best in the business just for a short week. But it was something great, and I definitely think looking back on my time in college and broadcasting, it's up there as probably the highlight.
Who stood out to you the most when you interviewed people at Radio Row?
Probably Joe Buck, just because he didn't do many interviews. He only did a few interviews at Radio Row. So just to be able to get a few minutes to talk to him, and me, as an aspiring broadcaster, play-by-play broadcaster, there's really no one else I would have wanted to talk to. So to talk to Joe for 10 minutes on air, and we got to speak to him for like 20, 25 minutes a couple days before. So to really speak to him and talk to him about broadcasting, and then interview him on the air, he couldn't have been nicer to talk to. So I would have to say the Joe Buck interview really stood out.
Play-by-play voice of Super Bowl 51 on Fox, Joe Buck. Joe, thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your busy schedule of preparation and joining us.
Absolutely. I mean, I think of all the people that are in here, I'd rather do something with you guys than about 95%. It kind of becomes a grab fest in here, and everybody's looking for somebody to go on their show. But for you guys who are studying the business, learning the business, really good at it, obviously, way before I was, when I was your age, I'm happy to be on. So thanks for having me.
Asking Tom Brady a question, I never thought I'd have that opportunity at the Super Bowl of all places, or asking Bill Belichick his thoughts on a matchup going into the game. I never thought we'd have that opportunity. So the fact that we got to do it while still being seniors in college, just an incredible experience, and there's so many people to thank through the Park School and through the NFL that made that all.
I think just working with Jake over the last number of years, it's been great. You know, we've built a great rapport on and off the air, and I think you can hear it when you listen to the show or you listen to our broadcasts. The way we transition to things, the way we go back and forth with each other, it kind of sounds natural. And I think that's something that, you know, doesn't just happen like that. It's kind of got to be a build of chemistry over a long period of time, and we've been able to do that. I think we've learned a lot from each other, just being around broadcasting and being around so many great upperclassmen over the last couple of years. Just being able to do the show every week and learn from each other, whether it's been little things, certain things to say, certain things not to say, how to bring back a broadcast from the road, or do different things. And I think really when we were at Radio Row, usually when we do interviews, we prepare questions and it's very pre-prepped. We know what we're going to ask. Radio Row, we didn't have that opportunity because we didn't know who we were getting on. So people would just come by, grab this person, grab that person. And I think most of all, I was so impressed with the way we kind of winged some of these interviews and made them sound as professional as they did.
That are very successful in postgraduate life, the minute they get out of college or down the road a couple of years from now. And the opportunity to be so well connected with some of the alumni who come back and they are always there to talk to you. You know, we had Kevin Connors on one of our football broadcasts calling a play live from the field. You know, so that's just like speaking to the Ithaca connection, that everyone has close ties to this place. Ithaca is a giant family, and ICTV and WICB. I've met some of my closest friends from there. So, you know, when I think back about my experience here at Ithaca, I'm probably going to remember the most, you know, the people I met who are going to be my friends for life.
It's about passion. I think some of the alum you were referring to, those kind of alum, they were passionate about what they did, and so are we. And I think that's what makes Park so great, is that everyone in the Park School is so passionate about what they do, whether it's broadcasting or producing or editing, whatever it is. Everyone has a passion that they're able to show here at the Park School.
Yeah. I'm going to miss obviously doing the show, but who knows, maybe one day down the line there'll be an opportunity for us to continue doing the show in a big market somewhere.
Now there was a time when you loved me so.
Being the play-by-play broadcasters for radio, we traveled to Union College, which is where Ithaca opened up their 2015 season. We were missing a part for our equipment. So it was Dan, me, and our sideline reporter, Sam Cooperman, trying to set up the radio broadcast equipment, realizing, oh my God, first broadcast of the year, we don't have what we need to get the game on the air. We called our first ever game on radio for Ithaca football through a cell phone. Dan and I passing my cell phone back and forth over the radio. It was a great game. I once beat Dan in Madden 17 straight times.
And it's true. 17 straight. A couple of years ago, it was 17 straight times. So I think, yeah, it was tough.
Does that make you love?